Welcome back to Iron Completionist, the series where I'm aiming to fill the collection log and do all of the completable, non-repeatable content in RuneScape. In the last video, we learned a few new things, tried out the Sepulchre, and actually ended up having a good time. In this video, I want to take a similar approach, revisiting some old content and trying out some new stuff as well. I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, don't be afraid to leave a like if you do. Before we get any further in the video, I want to thank War Planet Online, an exciting MMO RTS game and the sponsor of today's video. War Planet Online is a multiplayer military strategy game available on mobile, PC, and Mac, where you use real-time assault strategies to command and conquer. Since the game is real-time, you have to adapt your tactics, recruit commanders, and order your army to battle against both AI troops and other players. On the defensive side of things, you can build your own custom base to survive enemy assaults, stockpile troops, tanks, helicopters, and even go around the world and conquer key cities. And if playing alone isn't your thing, you can form alliances with people all around the world. Or if you're like me and you're more the chaotic evil type, you can make them your next targets. Right now, WPO is celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rambo First Blood and is adding Rambo into the game. He'll be on a special mission to guide players through the secrets of warfare and lead them through the first Blood Chain event operation to help you become a one-man army, which will be a very limited time but very memorable experience. And on top of that, if you download via the link in the description and are one of the first 40 players to reach level 10 by November 10th, you can win a $100 Amazon gift card. So there's never been a better time to download the game than right now, which you can do by clicking the link down below or scanning the QR code on screen to be given 4,000 army units T1 and 4,000 medals for a huge head start in the game. Thanks again to War Planet Online for sponsoring this video. You know, I've been perusing my collection log, and I actually think I want to go back to poking at a log that I have been doing on and off for the past couple of videos, which is revenants again. We're still missing everything from the extremely rare rev drop table, even the Amulet of Avarice. So maybe I'll send another like 1,000 kills or something. Plus, I do need to still work on gold for the completionist aspects of getting all of the bank slots unlocked, which I haven't actually totaled my alc tab in a while. But it's starting to look pretty thick. So maybe in a couple episodes I'll go through all this and all of the 12,000 battle staff that I have as well. Well, I took a look at my Abyssal Tentacle and it's pretty low on charges, and after searching my bank and remembering that I'm pretty unlucky from Abyssal Demons lately, I only have one backup whip, and in case I ever go to do some TOB or something, I'd rather just kind of hold on to this. So I think what I want to actually do is start trying out maybe some kind of ranged rev setup. I did get those magic shortbow and Bew scrolls, so maybe that'll be worth using. Alright, so I think this is what I'm going to end up going with. The salve, obviously, is going to be my protected item. I should still pull some decent DPS with a magic shortbow imbued in amethyst arrows. I do have a freakishly high amount of amethyst arrows in my bank, because, you know, there was a point in time when I expected to get a T-bow, but at this point, I figure I might as well just put these to use. If I get a T-bow, I can always get more amethyst arrows, plus I have, like, 1,000,000 dragon arrows as well, so it's not really a problem I should concern myself with right now. One real big bright side to this setup, and that's that I don't have to risk a Dragon Defender. I only have to risk an Ava's Assembler, which I will have 80 trillion of because of all the Vork heads I'm going to be getting when I'm camping that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's nice. I don't really have the escape with the Abyssal Tentacle spec, though, which is a little unfortunate, but the DPS feels pretty comfortable. I know I've been basing everything off DPS calculators, but this just actually feels like more damage. Maybe it's because I don't have to move around as much, or maybe just because the shots are really fast. I don't know, but it feels way better than the tent whip, so maybe it's just all in my head, but dang. Hey, look at that. Nice and early, getting ourselves a 1 mil totem. I will take it, although I think the 1 mil totem is pretty rare from these things. I always forget. I need to double check. No. I was misremembering. It's the 500k totem that's really, really rare when you're skulled. You guys have probably also noticed I'm trying this in a bit of a different area, and it's because I realized that the orcs are just camped very heavily by lots of other players, as well as, you know, PKers, because it's a very easy spot to get to. So even though I can't really tele out immediately in this spot, I want to try it out because there's a lot less downtime, since when the two demons are dead, and for some reason the demons have a 30-second respawn timer, whereas the orc only has a 15-second one, I can just go and kill the revenant cyclops that spawn up here, so I don't have to just stand around and do nothing. I don't really know if it's necessarily going to be worth doing, but since this setup has substantially less risk than the other one, like I don't have to worry about losing a defender or anything, I'm really not as opposed to dying. Hey, 3 magic seed. That is a roll on the rare table. Not a good one, but it's a roll. Hey, an ancient crystal. These ones are actually just entirely useless, so doesn't really mean anything. In fact, this is now worse than U seeds and magic seeds now that I think about it, because I don't know if these even have an alch value. I'll have to check on that, but I mean, I probably will end up alching them if they do. Hey, look at that, another ancient crystal. Again, not particularly useful, but nice, I guess. Well, there we go. That Rev Demon kill should bring me to exactly 11,000 KC. So I think that's where I'm going to call it for now. I obviously could kill more, but I'm starting to realize I like this method quite a decent bit with MSBI and the Amethyst arrows. It's for some reason more relaxing than using the Defender and meleeing. Maybe it's because I don't have to worry about actually really risking much. Ava's assemblers are a dime a dozen, and I have a billion Amethyst arrows. Unfortunately, we didn't really get anything new here, and honestly nothing particularly eventful, but let's move on to something else so I don't burn out doing revs. Still no rolls on the super mega rare table. Maybe next time. Now, I know I just did it the last video, but I kind of want to go back to the Hallowed Sepulchre. I was having a lot of fun doing it in the last video, and I still have plenty of things to go for here that doesn't even include going for the Ring of Endurance, which still don't think I'm ready to take on that final floor, but plenty of other slots to start poking at in here. And these slots are more or less guaranteed items, whereas, you know, doing the revs, not so much. I'm starting to realize that even if I wanted to take on floor 5 right now, it's not something that's really even possible, because the second a world gets past 400 population, it becomes pretty much dead, and all the total level worlds are also pretty much dead, so there are no really good worlds for me to even do this on right now. So anything past just getting some marks is really just not gonna happen. Hey, look at that. Got another ghost. I don't know which one it was, because he disappeared before I could click him there, but that's 2 of the 5 1 in 100 chance ghosts, so I'll take it. On my last chest that got me 100 marks, I got myself another strange old lockpick. Maybe I'll actually put some of these to use later in this video. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and grab myself the Hallowed Grapple, because I feel like I do the grapple traps more than anything else, so this seems like the most practical item to have. And this way I don't have to keep getting myth grapples out of my max cape. Alright, well I already did one incremental grind this video with revs, so why not do another one? Let's go over to Chambers of Xeric, and we haven't been here in probably, I don't know, a few months I think, since I'm pretty dry, obviously, as you can tell by the log and the 1000 KC. Would love to get a Twisted Bow, but would also just love to fill in some of these collection log slots, so let's go do like 10 raids, and if I'm feeling it, maybe I'll do a few more, because that's already like 5 hours. Not a bad time for the first raid back. Unfortunately, though, the white light streak continues on raid 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, T-Bolus raid, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, still no purple. I'll do one more, I think, just to hit it to 1010. I like big even numbers, I guess. Well, there's 10 raids and all of my solo raid motivation gone again, with no purples. So let's go do something a little bit different. I was actually realizing that I haven't started or even poked at the Giant's Foundry minigame yet, and there's quite a few collection log slots in here. Some of them might actually be beneficial to me, like the double ammo mold as well, and probably even the full Smith's outfit for when I am going to make all of my rune bars into items to alch them later. So this is a minigame that has some genuinely useful stuff, and I've never done it before, so maybe it'll be fun. Alright, well there is the Sleeping Giants quest completed, giving me access to this minigame, and I mentioned before, there are quite a few collection log slots here. I'm not really sure what order I'm going to go for them in, because there's also some stuff from the Giants Foundry that isn't in the collection log, namely these molds over here. And I'm pretty sure it's like efficient to buy these, and technically it's completionist content, so I'll probably just get all of these first. And I guess from there I'll start buying the other stuff. I'm not really sure how I want to do this yet. Luckily for me, I do have an absolute ton of mithril and adamant bars, which I think is the best option to use here, but I'm going to go double check really quick. Alternatively, I might just use some of all these rune items I have in here, because I'm pretty sure you actually get GP back from using it, so it might be effective for me to use the rune items. It's basically like alching them, I think. I think for now, since I really don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to use mithril and adamant bars, which is, according to this, 18 and 10. So I guess we'll try this, see how it goes. There's also a plugin in the plugin hub that supposedly does this for you pretty much. It doesn't seem like it's particularly difficult to do the Giant's Foundry, but, you know, let's give it a shot. I gotta say already, well, the plugin is nice. This whole generic thing for the minigame just looks terrible, and I kind of hate it. It just does not look good, in my opinion, at all. Like, I know that it's supposed to help you understand the minigame and everything, but it just takes up so much of my screen when I play in fixed, and I am not a fan of that. Wait, do I just talk to him? Oh, there's a hand-in option, I see. Okay. This is my first one. Not particularly amazing. 9.5k XP, 19,000 coins. But I guess the bright side is I'm getting rid of my mithril and addy bars that I haven't smithed yet and getting some coins back. If I used rune, I feel like I would lose too much potential GP, so I think I'll stick with this, at least for a while. And I got 107 Foundry reputation from that, so at least it seems like unlocking these won't take too long. Unlocking the actual gear and the Colossal Blade might take a while, though. So this plugin is, like, more or less completely unnecessary, but I guess it's nice to have because it tells me how many actions and how many heat actions are left, so it's a bit convenient in that sense so that I don't mess up or not pay enough attention, and then I also get these notifications when it gets pretty close to being done, so I guess it just makes it less likely that I screw something up. So these are the bars that I put in here every single round when I make a sword, and I get like around 20,000 gold, maybe a little more than 20,000 gold back every time, which means that I'm getting a little bit less than what the alch value of all this is worth, maybe like 60% or something of what the alch value is worth, but when I'm using addy bars and mithril bars, that's not too bad. But it definitely encourages me to not use the rune ones, because this right here is going to end up being a lot of gold. And I definitely don't want to use the rune plate bodies and things like I mentioned I might earlier, because, again, that's a lot of gold. And losing 40% of that would be pretty bad. So it took me like 13 swords before I realized there's two options on... Ooh, whoops, I hated that a little too much. There's two options on both of these things, like the waterfall and the lava pool, that let you just do it a little bit faster, so I just changed the left click on both of those to do that. I don't know how I didn't realize that was a thing before, or maybe it's just purely placebo and I'm just really dumb. Alright, that's 20 swords down. I have like an average of like a little bit below a 6-minute time, so I'm getting, let's say, like 10, maybe 11 per hour done. And if we go over to the shop, I have 2,484 points, so I'm just gonna go ahead and honestly just start buying all of these. I don't even know what these are called. Molds, I guess? Because these are going to be just incredibly beneficial for me to have, since it should, I think, give me more points on certain swords. And, you know, again, it's completionism anyway. So we still have quite a few of them to go before we can even move on to the actual collection log stuff. Yeah, that was a fast one. 4 minutes 41. Hopefully I can get more like that. That'll drastically increase my, my rate of getting points here. I'm going to keep buying a couple more of these as we go. I think it does help a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how much, though, but we only have 5 left. So, wait, no, there's that 7 left. I can't tell. This menu is very awkward. I think it's 5. Okay, yeah, it's 5. Cool. So we're almost able to actually start getting these log slots. I don't have a high enough smithing level? What is that? How? How do I not have a high enough smithing level? I'm literally maxed? What? Alright, I think I snagged enough points to buy the rest of these now. There we go. Now the only thing left is the, you know, things that we're actually doing the series for. But since I have a couple of Foundry reputation left over, let's just go ahead and buy the first thing in the log. The smithing catalyst. Absolutely useless item that I won't be actually holding on to. Might be useful if I were to buy a lot of them, but I probably won't because Blast Furnace exists. So, like, I guess it could be good because it gives, like, bonus XP, apparently, but, like, I mean, not too worried about XP, so yeah. Plus, just one of them is not going to make a difference. I would need like thousands of them, and I imagine the time it takes to get those probably makes it not worth it. But I wanted to just make like one sword that's like the 14 adamant 14 rune alloy, and oh my god, look at the amount of actions that you need to make this thing. This is crazy. Alright, this costed me 14 rune bars, and I only got 50,000 coins back, so yeah. Those 14 rune bars could have made, what, like 4 plate legs and then 2 swords or something, which would be like well over 100k. And that's not counting the 14 addy bars I used. I will say, however, 199 quality, that's quite a few points, I believe. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure the quality is the amount of points you get. So it's a pretty big uptick there as well, but not worth the rune bars. At 65 swords completed. Been here for like 7-ish hours at this point, but we're back up to 3,500 Foundry reputation, which means I can buy the boots or gloves. Now, all of these outfit pieces actually have the exact same effect, so there's no benefit buying the more expensive ones first. Every piece of the smith's outfit gives you a chance to increase the speed of smithing in an anvil, which goes up to 100% with the full set, and also does work at the Giant's Foundry, I believe. So there's our first, actually it's not our first, but there's a collection log slot for the Giant Foundry, the smith's boots, and our first piece of the set. So very happy to have those, and maybe it'll make getting points 20% faster. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Oh, I was actually really stupid. Okay, well, here I am back again at the shop, and honestly I thought that I had to buy the smith gloves last because I didn't know they could be combined with ice gloves, but then I scrolled down here and read this, and it just literally says can be combined with ice gloves to gain the effect of both, because you need ice gloves here. So I guess I'll go ahead and buy that. And then since I have 700 points left, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the grog, the ore pack, and I already bought the catalyst, right? So that is 3 new slots for the collection log. I really don't know if I want to stay here for another 13,000 points, because I need the 2 expensive pieces of the outfit and the colossal blade, as well as the ammo mold, so 15,000 points. So I think what I'm going to do is, for now, I'll probably stay until I get the ammo mold. I know it's not really efficient to buy that first, but I kind of want to have it because I have the opportunity to make a lot of cannonballs in the future, as you guys probably saw by my 200,000 coal and 100,000 iron. I'm gonna need a lot of cannonballs for Slayer on this account anyway, and I used a lot of cannonballs going for that Hill Giant Club. In fact, I think I used 70,000 cannonballs, so it'd be nice to be able to get some of that back. And if we go over to the mini game tab, Giant's Foundry, we now have 5 out of 9, so we're doing pretty well here. I think the mold will be a good place to stop for now, and I'll obviously come back at some point here. These 2 things are pretty useless. The grog just gives you, I think it's a mining or smithing boost. I really don't care about that. And the ore pack gives us some mithril and coal. Wow, that is really bad for the amount of points you need to get it. Alright, that should be enough points for me to get that double... I don't even know... Okay, I didn't really want a new commission. I have no idea what this thing is even called. The just double ammo mold. Alright. Go ahead and grab that. Bam, that's another collection log slot. I'm going to teleport out of here. I don't really know what happens if I teleport with an active commission, but that's fine. That's for future me to figure out. This item looks incredibly stupid, I'm not going to lie, but it's going to be so nice to have for making cannonballs, and that's going to be a huge part of some of my AFK goals in the future. Collection log wise, I mean, we did get, what, 6 slots out of that? If I can ever find it. I have such a hard time navigating this thing. We got 6 out of there. So there's 3 left, and they are technically the 3 most expensive pieces, but I'm pretty sure I'm more than halfway there if you count all of the completionist unlocks I got. So I want to take a bit of a break. I've been here for a while. The last thing I want to move on to is something that I've been saying I want to do for a long time and have not done, and that is Barrows. I am missing a ton of items out of here, and there are 25 slots to fill in. Now, most of these items don't really hold any weight for me anymore at this stage of the account, but thanks to the strange old lockpicks I got, Barrows should be pretty fast. Let's go ahead and throw on some gear. The Barrows should be pretty interesting on my iron. I'm probably just going to use my POH pool and the Dragon Battle Axe spec to stay at max like strength and attack. That way I don't have to waste super combat potions, since I don't really have to worry about defense here. It's pretty relevant. And other than that, it's just take the strongest gear I can and try to memorize whatever the Barrows teleport is, which is T. This should be pretty quick. And I am just now realizing that I am that guy at Barrows that everyone looks at and wonders why he's doing Barrows. The third age rope top is completely unnecessary here, but come on, I mean, if I have any opportunity to flex it, I'm gonna flex it. So this is exactly why the strange old lockpick is just so amazing. I mean, it's a little annoying here because I'm gonna have to use it twice per run, but if I just use it on this door, bam, we're through the door. Bam, we're through the other side. And then I can just do the same thing and get straight to the chest. And look at that. That only used, what? 2 charges out of the 50 on that strange old lockpick. So, yeah, pretty good. And since I don't really care about getting runes from this, I think I'm just going to kill the 6 brothers and go straight to the chest and just not really care about any of these NPCs or anything, because I can still get some rune rolls this way. Okay, that was maybe not the best example of that, but I'm not super worried about blood runes right now, and they're craftable now, so getting them from Barrows is really not even too relevant. Hey, there is our first item for the log, the Aram's Staff. A very useful, beautiful item. Of course, I'm going to find plenty of places to use that thing. Hey, there is another item for the log, the Guthan's Chain Skirt on 796. Still worth like 400k, not bad. Hey, wow. Back-to-back Guthan's pieces, Chain Skirt into the helmet. I'll definitely take that as well. If I was an early game Iron Man or a much more casual player, I'd be super stoked about that. Bam, there is Barrows chest number 800 and an elite clue coming with it. Very nice. One of the nice benefits of Barrows is that I'm going to be getting a lot of these as we go along here, so I think I'll do like 50 more chests and whatever elites we get along the way. Strange Old Lockpick makes this so much better. Like, I cannot even emphasize how nice these things are to have. What the fuck happened to my sled? Where could this have possibly gone? Guess I have to make a new one. Ooh, oh, wait. Wait, that's a duplicate? Okay. Wow, that's actually nuts to get a duplicate Aram's rope top, and that holds quite a bit of irony for me. I probably mentioned this last time I got an Aram's rope top, but this account was freakishly dry on that item and took me over 700 chests to get. And it's a pretty useful item to get as well. And then, of course, I get 2 of them now that it no longer really matters. If only I could get ancestral rope tops that often, huh? Still, I'd imagine that's probably one of, if not the most expensive items from Barrows at nearly 3 mil. So that'll be pretty nice fodder for the Death's Coffin thing. Hey, there's another new item for the log. Xeric's Brasser. You know, we're getting pretty lucky on these. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I don't remember how good or bad my Barrows luck was before outside of the Aram's rope top, so any collection log slot is a welcome one. Oh, there's the Guthan's War Sphere as well. Am I seriously going to finish full Guthan's again in like 100 chests since coming back? Because that would just be... that would be hilarious, man. Xeric's Helm? Dude, this is great. I should have done Barrows so much sooner. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't have, because these strange old lockpicks are what's making it so fun, but we are chunking through this log right now. Oh. Every time I think I'm going to go dry, I just get another item. Carol's leather skirt this time. This thing must be worth so much more than it used to be. I remember it being like 200k, but I guess it's 800 now. I'd love to see the price graph on that one. Alright, here is chest number 850. Wow, that is abysmal. That's how the chests usually look when there's no items in there. But I'm not complaining. We did super, super great at Barrows. Let's go ahead and check that log. Alright, Barrows chest. We got 10 out of 25. Well, I guess we already had the bolt racks and I think the Aram's rope top. We got a lot of new items in there. Surprised we only got the 1 duplicate rope top and somehow almost finished the Guthan set, which is still really hilarious to me. So I would say that's a pretty good start. I don't want to overdo it here. Just like everything else, you guys have probably noticed a trend of me saying that it's because the main point of this series is for me to be having fun while bouncing around the game instead of just spending, you know, 100 hours at the same place and then burning out. So I'm really enjoying the variety of activities that I'm doing, and I hope you guys are too. That being said, we did experience a lot of content and bounced around between a lot of stuff in this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, and yeah, wow, this is a really bad outro, but I'm leaving it in. Again, I want to thank War Planet Online for sponsoring this video, link down below.